All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. This is the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. We are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta, and I am super duper excited about today's show. For those of you that are coming on live, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for joining the show today. Please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody, and let them know Ramonepreston, my squad, and the Ramonepreston Show. We are live today on this beautiful Thursday. Today is Thursday and we are live. So hit the like button, hit the share button, tag somebody and let them know that the Ramonepreston Show is live. And today we're going to be talking about how to build a successful corporate infrastructure for your organizational enterprise. And I've got some good news to share with you today because we are expanding our Millionaire Blueprint, which is our signature online business and financial program that we use to train and to educate our people. And we're about to expand it. We're about to share so much valuable content with those who are a part of our program. And I want you to get in where you fit in as well. So if you hit the like button, the share button, tag somebody, please put in the comments what city you're watching us from today. I love to know what city you're representing. We representing Buckhead, Atlanta right here live. And wherever you are, I want you to put the name of the city in the comments. Please put the name of the city in the comments. If you have any questions throughout the show, feel free to drop your questions in the comments. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. So welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. Just in case you don't know, I want you to know. Now you know. My name is Ramonepreston. I'm the host of the Ramonepreston Show, and every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, I show up here to share information with you to help you properly start, structure, and at some point scale your business and your financial income streams. So wherever you are on the broad spectrum of personal, professional, and financial success, whether you are a W-2 employee, a 1099 contractor, a business owner, a minister, an influencer, a coach, a consultant, wherever you are on that broad economic spectrum of success, what we share with you on this show, we know can help you start, structure, and scale it. Now, how do I know that? Well, because number one, I've done it in my own life. I've done it with my own organizational enterprise, and as a business and financial coach, consultant, and educator myself, I know that the programs, the products, the services, the information that we share is able to help you. It is, because it's helping so many people. We have an online program that we call our Millionaire Blueprint. It's a virtual video-based training program to teach you and educate you on business, finances, holding companies, tax strategies, things like what we're going to be talking about today, corporate infrastructures, and much more. We also have a one-year business coaching program that we work with our clients for a year to really help them build their infrastructures out. We have other programs as well, but today I want to talk to you about how to build a successful corporate infrastructure. Now, there are multiple layers to this. And again, I'm going to share a little bit with you today. And hopefully, if you're not a member of one of our programs, that you reach out to me today and take me up on this offer, because we're about to change the prices of our Millionaire Blueprint. As of today, we're changing the price because we are adding so much valuable information that we've been working on. And this information is literally changing the way people not just build corporate infrastructures, but how they successfully scale their corporate infrastructures. So how do you build a successful corporate infrastructure? Well, the first part of building this corporate infrastructure is the legal side, how you file and form your paperwork. So you hear me talk a lot about the holding company. So this is the legal side. This is the filing and forming side of your corporate infrastructure, because you need your holding company. This is the first part of it. If your holding company has divisions, you will have your divisions. These are all the skeletons of this body of your corporate infrastructure. So you have your holding company, you have your divisions, and you have your subsidiaries. Another word for subsidiaries could be operating company. And so once you have your business set up the right way, you filed and formed your paperwork, from an infrastructure perspective, it's going to look like this. You're going to be at the top. Your holding company is going to be under you. You're going to have divisions, if there are any. And then you're going to have your subsidiary or subsidiaries. Okay, so that would be the corporate infrastructure of how you file and form your paperwork, how you legitimize legally your entities. Okay, that's the corporate infrastructure side of filing and forming. Now, here's the thing. Once you file and form your paperwork, once you have your holding company set up, once you figure out what operations that you have going on that are considered to be divisions, once you have your subsidiaries or your operating entities set up, let's just assume you have all your LLCs set up, you have all your EIN numbers, you have all your operating agreements, you have your bank accounts, you're working on your Duns and Bradstreet, and maybe you're working on building credit and getting lines of credit and credit cards and business loans, whatever the things are that you're doing. Once this part is done, now the next part or the next phase, I would say it would be more proper to say phase. So this would be phase one of building your corporate infrastructure. That sounds a little bit better, don't it? So that's phase one, okay? Phase two of building your corporate infrastructure will actually be a part of your systems and processes, because now that you have phase one of the infrastructure built, now you have your paperwork filed and formed, you got your bank accounts, you got your operating agreements. The second phase would be your systems and processes, okay? Systems and processes. So now here is where you really have to start focusing on how to really, and really, I wouldn't even say processes at this phase. I would really say the systems, because now you got to start thinking about, okay, what type of technology, what type of platforms do I actually need in order to make my business, the paperwork that I filed and formed these LLCs on, how do I make that function? How do I make that work on a day-to-day basis? Well, this is where your systems are going to come in at. And so you've heard me say it before, you definitely have to have the main four systems. Now, there are 5 corporate roles and systems that I teach on, because you have your CEO, you have your CSO, you have your CMO, you have your CFO, and then you have your COO. I just want to show you this. So when you think about the second phase of building your corporate infrastructure, I want you to think about, okay, I need systems for my role as the CEO. I need a system for my sales. I need a system for my marketing. I need a system for my financials. And I need a system for my operations. So this is like the second phase, even before you get into the process. Now, we talked about this earlier this week. What are systems? Systems are platforms that house information, correct? So now I've got to figure out what technology, what applications, what software, what systems can I find to use to help me build out my infrastructure as a chief executive officer? I need one for my chief sales officer. And again, you might not have these 5 people in these roles. Most business owners who start their businesses, they don't have all, I don't even have all 5 of these people assuming these roles in my office today as staff. So it's okay, but at least I know what systems I need that could be designated for someone if I happen to hire someone in that space. And you may not at a certain point, or until you get to a certain point, hire these type of people. The truth is, unless you're making millions of dollars, you're probably not even bringing these kind of people into your business, especially people who are really qualified. Because if you're only making, maybe 5 figures a year or maybe 6 figures a year in your business, you might not be able to afford a real legitimate chief officer on any level. It's different if you just grabbing family members and friends and you just labeling them as chief officers. That don't mean they have the capabilities of doing what people in this real position do, but you still want systems that reflect what it will look like, okay? And those would be the 5. So that means I'm gonna need some type of executive system, because remember, when I get to the 3rd phase of building my corporate infrastructure and I start moving into processes and practices and procedures, when I start using certain technology to measure my results and the impact that my business is making, I want it all to link together to these systems, okay? And so you want the executive system to be understood, sales, marketing, financials, operations, okay? These are your systems. Your systems are platforms. Now, I have platforms that house information. Now, I have a lot of recommendations. I'm not going to say a lot. I have a few recommendations for what types of systems that you should use, because there are certain softwares, there are certain platforms like CRM type platforms. Some of you might be familiar with it, but there are certain platforms that they have right now that really help check a few of these boxes. Like, for example, for your financials, you're going to use something like QuickBooks. So that's going to be financials. Now, the good thing about a system like QuickBooks is you kind of get a little bit of the operations or human resources in QuickBooks, because you're able to do your payroll, you can run your insurance through QuickBooks, you can if you need some HR assistance, like if you have certain job descriptions that you need to have for your staff, like HR can really be ran through your QuickBooks if you really take the time to understand how powerful QuickBooks is. You could do your payroll through QuickBooks. It's a lot of stuff you could do through QuickBooks. So you get a little bit of the operations in your QuickBooks. Now, when it comes to sales and marketing, you can definitely find certain platforms. And I have like 3 or 4 different platforms that I've tried, and that 1 or 2 that I still use. I'm getting ready to move into another one, but a lot of it is just based on how you configure these platforms and integrate other platforms into the one you configured to work for you. And if what I'm saying is kind of gibberish because you're not familiar with it, what I mean is, when you're trying to find certain systems, you're not going to find one system that covers all of the things that you need done in your business. It just don't work like that. And companies that may have like one system, they are so big, they can spend $25 million to get these systems built. But most business owners, which are small to mid-sized businesses, they're not going to have like this one and done system that houses all this information, one platform. What they're going to have is maybe 3 or 4, and within those 3 or 4, they've got probably 20 other softwares or 20 other pieces of technology or platforms integrated into it to make it work. So you have this one system that you create, and then you have like all these different integrations that link to it, so that whatever it is that you have going on in your business, it can all be central here, but it's based on all these integrations that you brought together when you configured this to work. So if that helps you understand it, I'm just trying to give you enough so that you can see. If you want to know how to develop a corporate infrastructure, the first phase of developing your corporate infrastructure is filing and forming your paperwork, getting your holding company set up, getting your divisions set up, getting your subsidiaries set up. So all your LLC paperwork is done, your operating agreements, you got your EIN numbers, you got your bank account. Once you get that done, the next phase is, okay, now I need to figure out my systems. Because now I need platforms that can house this information. What information? Information about my operations, information about my finances, information about my marketing, information about my sales, information about my company as a whole, and how I, as the executive, will run my company, okay? And this is where your systems come into play. Now, when you start linking these systems to your processes, man, I'm giving y'all some game today. Whew, I don't even know if you know how much information you getting today. But when you start linking your systems to your processes, that's when you are going to reconfigure how this looks. Because you see, I got them all across right now, right? So I got all 5 of these systems across, but that's just for you to at least wrap your mind around what type of platforms I need. But once you figure that out, you really have to reconfigure this in order to get to the third phase of building your corporate infrastructure. Because remember, the first phase is filing and forming. Okay, let's just put file and form. The second phase is systems. The third phase is processes. And I can really build this out more. I'm just giving you enough on this show because I could probably build this all the way out down to like the cellular level, but I want you to see it. So how do you reconfigure it? Well, now you're going to have to start reconfiguring it like what is considered to be an organizational chart. You're going to have to start creating like this organizational chart. And this is like the third phase. This is phase 1. This is phase 2. This is phase 3. So phase 3 is about your processes. Your processes are going to be the steps that you take to measure the results that you're getting in those areas that your systems identify with, okay? But in order for you to start building that out, you have to create like an organizational flow chart. So you'll take those 5, let's say if you take those 5 systems and you say, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna put one box here. This is gonna be my CEO. So I got at least 4 more boxes. So where am I going to put those other boxes? Well, right here, you're going to want to have a box that might be your COO. Okay, and then under the COO, you may have, let's say, 3 boxes like that. So you have your CSO, you may have your CMO, and then you have your CFO. So when you start building your organizational chart out, you create a flow. This is why it's called an organizational flow chart, because you start creating a flow that makes sense. Because remember, all of these systems should essentially represent real people that at some point will fill these roles. Now, it don't mean you have chief officers, even though you may be the chief officer. But what it means is there's going to be somebody you have designated or that you start training who could actually assume this role right here. This is more like a COO, Chief Operation Officer. They're traditionally, they could be called VPs. integrators. There are so many different names because there's so much information out. But when you start putting this type of flow chart together, it starts making it make more sense, so that when you start crafting your practices and your procedures, it makes it easier for you to know where those practices and those procedures fit into. So I would love to know if you're understanding what I'm saying so far. I would love to know that, because I know I'm giving y'all a lot of information right now, but I would just love to know what are you understanding so far, and what is your biggest takeaway so far, if you are understanding, or maybe you just got questions on what I'm sharing with you and what I'm showing you, because this is a lot of information. But I would just love to know, give me some takeaways or give me some feedback on what you're understanding so far. And if you have any questions, I will love to answer any questions that you may have. This is pretty good. So again, if you're just coming on, we're talking about how to build a successful corporate infrastructure. Okay, how to build a successful corporate infrastructure. So I've shared at least 3 phases with you so far. The first phase of building your corporate infrastructure is filing and forming your paperwork, getting your holding company, divisions, operating companies set up. Once you get that set up, okay, now the next phase is I got to get my systems integrated. First, I got to make sure I can identify with at least the 5 systems that I want to have in my business. Okay, because trust me, anybody that you plan on hiring or anything that is going on in your business is going to link to one of those 5. Period. It's going to link. It's going to link to your executive office, your sales, your marketing, your financials, your operations, no matter what it is, whether it's inventory, whether it's research and development, whether it's marketing, branding, whether it's product, services, whether it's having an assistant, whether it doesn't matter what it is. If whatever it is, it's going to link to one of those 5. So that's going to be the second phase for you to identify with those 5 and systems. You may need 2 or 3 different systems to cover those 5. Okay. Once you identify with those systems, and you now know that these are going to be the platforms that you use to house information for you as the executive, for your sales, for your marketing, for your financials, and for your operations, then you can get to processes. But while you're transitioning from system to processes, from second to third phase, what you got to do is you got to reconfigure those 5 to start simulating a organizational flow chart, because now it needs to start making sense. So, for example, if I have a system, and my system, my platform that houses information is a system that I'm able to use so that whatever the things are that I'm doing as an executive can be monitored, can be measured. The same is for my operations officer or whoever is helping me with my operations, whether it's an assistant, a VA, or someone else, an administrator. My sales, my marketing, my financials. So once my systems are in place, now I need to start configuring my processes, because my processes, remember, are the steps that I need to take to start measuring the impact. What do you mean the steps that I take? Well, if I'm coming into work every day, or let's say if you work at home and you got a home office, what exactly are you doing every day as a CEO? And so one of the things that I teach in my program is I teach on the 5 R's. I teach on the 5 R's, okay? I teach on the 5 R's. And the 5 R's are really the things that you're going to be able to use to infuse into this organizational chart. Does that make sense? Okay, we got a couple people on YouTube, Door Detailers. He says, corporate business preacher. Come on, man. You already know. I'm giving you the game, dog. Mr. Forbes, JK, is in the house. He says, I currently have QuickBooks for financials. I have InnoPortal for operations. I'm purchasing FreshWorks for sales and marketing. Mr. Preston giving you the playbook for free. Come on through, man. See, I got clients on here that they know they pay a lot of money to get access to this information and for us to really flesh through these things. So I'm giving y'all some game. But these are the 5 R's. These are the 5 R's. And I use my 5 R's, again, to connect systems and processes. Because if you know you need systems and processes, if you know you need platforms that house information, but then you know you need steps to measure the impact that you're making in those areas that these systems represent, you need some connectivity. What is the connective tissue? The 5 R's become the connective tissue, okay? And so my 5 R's, I'll just give them to you real quick. My 5 R's are, we got role. I hope I can remember them. I talk about them so much. Role. We got responsibility. We got routine. We got reach. And then we got result. Those are my 5 R's. And these 5 R's really become the connective tissue for systems and processes. Because now I need to define roles for these spots. What is the role? Okay? Then I need to define what the responsibility is. So if my role is the CEO, what is my responsibility? What am I doing every day when I show up? And then once I define my responsibility, I need to define my routine. What exactly am I doing? How am I doing it? And how much of it am I actually supposed to get done? And if you notice, what starts happening is the further down these 5 R's you go, you start moving from info to metrics. I'm giving y'all like a cram course, man, on corporate structures. I'm telling you, this is powerful stuff here, y'all. So again, you go from info to metrics the lower you go. Because now once you get to the routine, now you start having to quantify how many of these things am I doing every day in my role and with my responsibility. And then when I get to my reach, now I need to see what was the total number of things that I was able to accomplish. And then when I get to the result, I need to see what was the overall impact. What is the metric behind it? This is how you start measuring everything that you're doing. When you get to this level, in your business infrastructure, you change the game for how you run your business. I'm telling you. It took me a long time to figure all these things out. And remember, I didn't really have people helping me, giving me this information. I didn't have that access. I started my business, my wife and I, we started 19 years ago. So a lot of these things I had to just double down, triple down, quadruple down, hunker down, and just say, you know what? I might have to read 300 books just to nitpick data points to bring together so that it can make sense to me. But once I got it, I got it. And so now you have access to it. And so this is how you build a successful business infrastructure. It starts with filing and forming your paperwork. It goes into your systems, and then your systems connect to your processes. And then you start building your processes out using concepts like the 5 R's that I shared with you. And then as you start building those 5 R's out, now all of a sudden, everything that anybody does in your business, you can associate it to a certain area. So if I hire an administrator, if I hire a salesperson, if I hire if I hire a virtual assistant, if I outsource something to a digital marketer, if I bring in a vendor, if I hire a personal assistant, you know, whoever I bring in to help me, I know exactly where they fit in this ecosystem. And I know what their role is, what their responsibility is, what their routine is, what their reach is, and what their results are, or what they should be. And now all of a sudden, I can start dumping money towards certain things because I can pretty much project. I can forecast certain outcomes as long as there's a certain amount of work and effort that's put in behind it. So again, I'm giving you a lot of free information. I'm super excited because what I'm going to be doing today, we are changing the prices of our programs. And this is what happens when you get in demand. When you start getting a lot of attention and you get in demand, you go up on your prices because your information is valuable. And so I want to give you an opportunity to plug in to be a part of one of our signature programs. We have an online training program called the Millionaire Blueprint that teaches a lot of these concepts and principles. And I am about to add some new content that we have already produced onto our online platform, and it's going to be awesome. So if you want to learn more about what I just shared with you, we're about to add some content onto this, a whole entire course that's going to be built around a lot of what we just talked about: corporate infrastructures, organizational charts, the 5 R's, revenue milestones. Like, we're sharing so much valuable information. Like, I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm just giving away too much information. So that's why we're modifying our prices. We're going up, and we want to give you an opportunity to get in. So if you're interested in learning about corporate infrastructures, and you know this is where you want to go in your business, and you know at some point it's inevitable, you got to learn this stuff. You got to figure this stuff out. Otherwise, you're never going to be successful in business. I mean, it's just not going to happen unless your version of success is, well, I just get up every day and I do what I do and I make $20,000 a year or $80,000. But if you want to be a millionaire and you want to have a multi-million-dollar organizational enterprise, you got to learn this stuff. And once you get it, it becomes like the skeleton, the bones of your infrastructure, and you're going to keep modifying it, you're going to keep tweaking it, you're going to keep developing it, reconfiguring it, integrating new things in it. But you can't do none of that if you don't have the basic fundamentals of understanding it. So I want to give you access to it, and all you need to do is text the word that I want you to become, and hopefully you want to become at least millionaire. I want you to text millionaire to 404-478-7213. Again, after today, I'm telling you, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to Ramonepreston.com. I'm going to just show you, because I'm a man of my word. I do exactly what I say I'm going to do. I'm a man of my word. I do exactly what I say I'm going to do. So here's what I want you to do. I want you, if you don't text the word millionaire to me, I want you to go to Ramonepreston.com, and I want you to take a screenshot of all the programs that we have and all the prices that we have, because within the next day or two, those prices are going to change, because I have so many new programs, so much information, new courses, new training, new modules that I'm about to add beginning today to our Millionaire Blueprint. It is not going to be the price. Yesterday's price or not today's price in my Fat Joe voice. It's just not the same price. And I'm so confident about it because, number one, the information that we provide is world class. It's helping a lot of people put themselves and their businesses in positions to become million-dollar businesses. And there are a lot of people who might be considered our competition, but I've already watched and looked at their platforms and some of their content, and I be lurking sometime. They ain't really doing a whole lot. They ain't doing a whole lot. So if you want to know more about corporate infrastructures and how to take what you have put together or putting together as a LLC, whether it's a holding company and an operating company or both. You want to build that out. You're going to build it out with systems and processes. That's what your infrastructure is going to be. And I have all the training available for you. So all you have to do is text Millionaire to 404-478-7213. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at this number, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. So with that being said, I've got a lot of work to do because we are having I'm hosting I have two events this Saturday. I have a School of Prophets training for our students that are in our School of Prophets, and we are hosting a live marketing workshop here in person at our headquarters this Saturday. And it's not open to the public. It's only open to our mentees, those who are in our Millionaire Mentorship program. So if you're in our one-year coaching program, we're hosting a marketing workshop this Saturday from 12 to 4. If you want access to that workshop, all you have to do is text Millionaire to that number behind me, and we can get you signed up, plugged into our one-year business coaching program, and give you access to everything that we have. We want to create millionaires, and I know this information is going to help make that happen. So I love and appreciate you for supporting the Ramonepreston Show. Please like, please share, please put in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from today. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page and follow me on all other platforms as well. You can find me on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere else at Ramonepreston. So subscribe to the page, follow me, like, share. I appreciate you, love you, have an amazing Thursday, and we'll be back here tomorrow. Same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon, right here on the Ramonepreston Show.